every day that I get a chance to talk to someone from the Big Red Machine. and then we're going to start off with that first off.
People know about that.
Well, we know about it, and that's history for us. But I just got to ask you, before all that happened, just for you growing up in baseball, who were some of your favorite baseball players?
You know, number one, Willie. Number two, Hank.
Okay.
And then the only major league I met when I was 13 was a guy named Willie Stargell.
Oh, man, Mr. Pirate, the Pirate himself, okay?
So those are, you know, I mean, Frank Robinson, Vader Pinson, you know, because Pittsburgh always played Clemente, Roberto. Yeah. So Pittsburgh always played Cincinnati, so I knew Vader, Frank, what's his name, Gus Bell, those people. Then Pittsburgh had Jim Stewart, Willie Stargell, Clemente. And Clemente was the guy to watch.
I like that. You know, unfortunately, we did lose Willie Mays not too long ago. And for me, just looking at what he did in baseball, I mean, 15 or more All-Star games, just all the Go-Go's, the MVPs, the list goes on of what he did. For you, what did Willie Mays mean for you? Because you played with some great guys and you were mentored by some great guys. But being able to not only see Willie Mays and how he's so much respected in baseball, what did he mean for you?
Well, he meant a lot to me in terms of being young and black. That was the most important. You know, he got the opportunity, him, and then Jackie. Jackie was another one. I never met Jackie, but him giving us the opportunity to play was the biggest thing. But watching Roberto, being he's from Puerto Rico, and, you know, had the strongest arm in the league. So, but just watching those guys play, that's all I needed.
I love it. Big Red Machine. I'm going to go down the names real quick. We got Perez, Concepcion, Rose. I mean, Bench. Johnny Bench, the greatest catcher ever. Morgan, Joe Morgan, one of the greatest second basemen ever, right? Just keep on. Come on, name them.
Concepcion.
There you go.
And Geronimo.
Just when I think about all-time teams, I don't know a team more talented than that team, in my opinion, just off of the name itself, but just you being a part of that, going into that clubhouse every day, realizing that there was maybe, in my opinion, Hall of Famers everywhere. How was that for you? And you were an All-Star during that time as well. Can you talk about that?
Three-time All-Star. I was, matter of fact, Junior and I are the only father and son was All-Star MVPs. But on that team, we just had fun. We played well. Tony Perez was the catalyst of the club. Pete was just, all we knew about Pete was that he's going to hit a single or a double, we're going to get him on. Joe was probably the best, the smartest player I ever been around in terms of situations out on the field, what he needed to do. And then Bench was probably the strongest catcher. Foster was probably the strongest guy. You know, 52 home runs, he was just big. George was just a lot. Geronimo had the best arm and could run from gap to gap better than anybody. And then Davey, to me, Davey Concepcion was the best shortstop on the AstroTurf there ever was. You know, and I don't know why he's not in the Hall of Fame.
Should be.
Yeah, easy.
Last question. I do this question called Mount Rushmore. And that means you got to put 4 of your favorite players on a Mount Rushmore. But I'm going to have a little fun with you with this one. I'm going to have you put 1 catcher all time, 1 pitcher, 1 infielder, and 1 outfielder in your Mount Rushmore. Let's start with your catcher. I think we know who the catcher is. Okay, infielder.
Infielder, I'd have to say, looking at it, when I played with Joe was probably the best second baseman there was. Okay. But then you have another guy that played third base, and Brooks Robinson.
Okay, so you got to pick one. Split? We'll call it Bruce Morgan.
I played with Joe, so I have to go with Morgan. Yeah.
Okay, this is going to be interesting. We're going to get to that one last, but pitcher. Who's the pitcher?
Pitcher? Oof.
I'd have real good one too.
Oh, yeah. I'd have to say J.R. Richards.
Okay, he's the great. Okay. And I'm going to see where you're going to go with this one. Outfield, because I think that there's a case when I asked it.
There's 2 or 3 of them out there.
Okay.
You know, watching, I had a chance and opportunity to play with one of the best.
Okay.
And he was my son.
Okay. You put yourself. Okay. I was making sure. I thought you was gonna say.
Nah, it was my son, and then I got a chance to watch Willie Mays, and a lot of people didn't know that Hank Aaron played well. But I'd have to go right now with being this early. I'd have to go with Junior.
Wow. Did you know that? I mean, you knew the talent.
Yeah.
But did you ever envision your son being this unreal?
I knew he could play when I couldn't strike him out at age 13.
Yes, sir. Now, we were talking with Junior earlier, and he said he called LeBron. He said he needs some courtside tickets, and you're paying. He's taking the kids, so you paying.
Who's paying?
You said Senior's paying.
No habla English.
But, I mean,
You forget that.
you see that, you got to play with him. I mean, that's something that we don't ever see in sports. What was that like for you?
Well, it was something amazing because I'll put it this way. When it first started, it took me 6 years to get to the big leagues. I had well over 2,000 at-bats. It took him a little less than 400 at-bats. Okay? So playing with him, I didn't know he was that good until I played with him. He told me one day, he said, listen, you covered 3 square feet out there in left field and I got the rest. And he was right. I didn't have to worry about catching any balls until he cut in front of me. Then I had to ground him. Took the car keys off of him, and he couldn't drive his Maserati. I didn't know how to drive it either, but I took his car keys when he cut in front of me, and he never yelled. He never said, I got it. So I wanted to kill him.
Understood. I mean, getting to coach the HBCU Classic 2 years ago when he came to you with the idea, what was your thought about it, and then now just seeing the execution of the event?
Well, I thought about it when he was talking about it. I thought it was an amazing idea. Being that when I first got into the big leagues, there was almost 27 to 37% blacks playing in the big leagues. Okay, not Latinos or any of that. It was mostly black ball players. All of a sudden, we're down to 6%. So it's kind of tough to watch some of the games because you only see like 1 or 2 major league players that are black on the major league teams. And before we had me, Morgan, George Foster. Then the Latinos was Davey and Doggy. So we had a few players, and you go to Pittsburgh, all of them, it seemed like they're black in Pittsburgh. But it meant a lot. When he came to me about it, when he started talking about it, I said it's a great idea, and it's more of a plus for me because it's something I never imagined it would happen. Because all I heard was we're not playing baseball. They always talk about young black ball players, either football or basketball. Nobody's saying anything about baseball, but nobody would go to that. Black colleges, to watch him play. My first roommate was from South Carolina State. He played at South Carolina State football, but he was also a baseball. He got drafted by the Reds as a baseball player. So it was just an amazing idea. I'm glad that last 2 years, it's been working out. This year it's even gotten better and bigger.
So good luck tomorrow, and go. I know you want to get that dub.
Oh yeah, of course. What I'm out here for? I'm working to get the win. Got it last year. So 2 years in a row ain't gonna. I'll be undefeated.
Thank you.
No problem.
I just wanted to ask you about pitchers from that era, 70s, 80s. Who were some of the best pitchers that you faced?
A bunch of them. I'll put it this way. You go to New York, the Mets, you had to face 4 of the strongest pitchers there was in the league. There's Matlack, Koosman, Seaver, and Gentry. Now you know who they traded, don't you? They got rid of Nolan Ryan because he couldn't make that rotation. And you go with us, we had Freddie Norman, Bellingham, Gullett, and Gary Nolan. So there was at least 4 starters that were number 1 starters back then. Only team that really was struggling was Atlanta, and they had one of the better pitchers in Phil Negro. but Atlanta didn't have a strong enough core to hold themselves. But then you go to LA, you had Sutton, Welsh, Bert Hooton, and then coming out of the bullpen, you had Mike Marshall. So there was a lot of guys. And then Houston, you had J.R. Richards, Durker, coming out of Houston. You had some pitchers. You had a whole lot of pitchers. Now, I don't know. You may get one good starter out of that.
Appreciate it.